Welcome to the wild and chaotic world of VTuber Twitter, where a peculiar species roams freely, the VTweeter. Unlike genuine VTubers, these creatures don't produce any video content, yet they still boldly claim the VTuber title. You'll often find them interacting with real VTubers, but rarely, if ever, leaving the confines of Twitter. Now let's take a closer look. A VTweeter in its natural habitat survives on a steady diet of jealousy juice and delusion aid, fueling an impressive ability to post non-stop with very few breaks. This allows it to stay active every day, engaging in endless discourse with no signs of fatigue. One of the VTweeter's greatest strengths is its ability to blend in. At first glance, they may seem just like any other VTuber. But do not be fooled. Here are the signs to easily identify one. Number 1. They are forever stuck in the pre-debut phase, never actually taking the leap into content creation. 2. Their posts are packed with sympathy bait, always fishing for validation. 3. They claim to deeply understand the struggles of being a content creator, despite never having done it themselves. 4. If they did attempt content creation, it didn't last long, because, well, their content was trash. And the biggest giveaway? 5. They absolutely love VTuber drama and will engage in controversy at every opportunity, sometimes even creating it. VTweeters are social creatures. While they may seem loud on their own, their true noise comes from numbers. When one feels attacked, it sends out a distress signal, usually in the form of a retweet or quote tweet. This instantly alerts the rest of the horde, who will rush in to support them. You see, a lone VTweeter isn't very effective, but in a group, that's when the noise gets really bad. Their go-to attack move? Moral grandstanding. By feigning a position of moral superiority, they seek to manipulate uninformed bystanders, and those who remain unconvinced may find themselves outnumbered or silenced by the sheer weight of opposition. Some of the more dangerous VTweeters have even been known to sabotage real VTubers, despite hypocritically pretending to be VTubers themselves. And make no mistake, they don't discriminate. Whether indie or corporate, the mere existence of a real, successful VTuber is enough to threaten them. But fear not. Despite all the noise, VTweeters are all bark and no bite. In fact, being labeled a VTweeter is considered an insult and often carries certain unfortunate implications. If you ever find yourself dealing with a VTweeter attack, here's what you can do. 1. Never apologize. Apologies are seen as weakness and will only encourage them. 2. Ignore them. Without engagement, they lose their power. 3. Call them what they are, a filthy Miss Powdur, have you ever encountered a VTweeter? Ah yes, when I was a young VTuber, I was manipulated by their toxicity. I joined Twitter as a final social media platform, lured in by its reputation as the most active space for the VTuber community. At first, I was impressed by the sheer number of community members, but over time, I noticed something odd. Only a small fraction of these people were actual content creators. It was a harsh realization, but let this be a lesson. If your perception of VTubers is solely shaped by Twitter, I have some bad news for you. There are imposters among us. The only real benefit VTweeters provide is that they inadvertently boost engagement on actual VTuber posts. Unfortunately, this is often in the form of outrage, as stirring up drama is second nature to them. Now, why do VTweeters behave this way? My theory is that they are so infatuated with the idea of being a VTuber that when a real VTuber doesn't act the way they would, they lash out. Instead of confronting their own shortcomings, they project their insecurities onto others. In the end, they have no real interest in the hard work that goes into content creation, and so they remain isolated in their bluebird fantasy land, surrounded by others just like them, forever tweeting but never creating. Pop quiz! How would you define a VTweeter? If you are attacked by VTweeters, what should you do? And lastly, what is the average amount of time it takes for a VTweeter to debut? Trick question. They never debut.